Hey there, I'm Evelyn from evelynd.com. I'm a functional medicine nutritionist and a life coach. Welcome back. Today, I'm talking about a post that I just shared to my email list and on Instagram. This was actually a reboot of a 2018 post I did on a concept that you may have heard before, and it's called the gap. So the gap is basically just the space between point A, where you are now, and point B, where you want to be. So that could be, you might call that your goals or your vision or your desired result. And so a lot of times we get stuck in the gap, or we get a little bit of momentum. We start climbing out of that gap, and then we lose our momentum and we get sucked back in, or maybe we start to make it to the other side, but then we backslide and we dip back into the gap. So I'm going to share a visual. Sorry about that. That I shared on Instagram, like I said, and in the post. And so, yeah, so this is the visual. So nothing fancy here, but we've got this point A, point B, and then the gap. And so a lot of times we get into trouble when we're focused on, like, let's use weight loss. I use weight loss in the post that I wrote, but it can be anything: your relationship with money, your relationship with others, romantic relationships, your work, whatever it is. But I'll use weight loss just because I'm a nutritionist, and a lot of women come to me wanting to lose weight or change their relationship with food or alcohol, and they focus on the rules. They focus on, okay, this is what I'm going to cut out. This is what I'm going to add in. I'm going to cut out these foods. I'm going to add in these healthier foods, more of them, or I'm going to change my portions or my fasting. I'm going to add exercise. I'm going to sleep, all the things, all the doings. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't really matter what the approach is, as long as it works for you and it's sustainable, meaning that you can do that for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you risk going back into point A, which is yo-yo dieting. And I see this all the time. It doesn't matter if you're doing carnivore or Weight Watchers. I mean, I was on Weight Watchers probably 20 times since my 20s. It was introduced at work, and I had so many Weight Watchers successes and then failures, and then it stopped working. Well, it stopped working because I stopped working it. And why did I stop working it? Because I couldn't look at every single food as points anymore. I needed to look at food as, does this feel good in my body? Does this nourish me? Does this help me get to where I want to be in terms of my physical being? So it doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with those approaches. However, it needs to be sustainable. So, right. So we have our outer doings, right? So this goes back to a few videos I've done where we've got the external activities, the actions that we're taking. But what happens when we are at point A, many times, and I do this in my work, I want to know, and I've done this for myself, I want to know, how did you get to point A? What was going on? Right? So let's say you want to lose weight. Let's say you're 180 pounds, you want to be 140 pounds. You want to lose 40 pounds. Okay. What happened? When did you get to 180 and why? Right? So what led you there? Was it kind of just not knowing what to eat? Was it not caring what you ate? Was there stress? Was there trauma? What was going on that got you to point A? And it's really important to understand that and dig deeper into just the outer circumstances and start to really explore what was going on within my consciousness. Right? So what was I believing? So here in the gap, I've got a list of some things, and there is a combination of outer and inner. The outer, again, would be your approaches and tactics. The fuel that even creates the desire to get to point B also is in this gap, right? Because you're taking that from point A, that's fueling your desire to achieve point B. But then we get into more of the nitty-gritty, and this is the part that really makes it the difference between being on a diet or trying something versus transformation. And that is exploring, what are your beliefs? So what do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your body? And then understanding also your identities. I talk a lot about my relationship with alcohol and how it's constantly evolving. And it has gone from me identifying as someone who has to drink in order to relax, to someone who needs to drink in order to feel comfortable in social situations, to someone who's really challenged that identity and has been starting to really embrace a new identity around alcohol. It's not perfect, and I'm not looking for perfect, but it's really questioning what my identity is around the alcohol. But this could also be food. It could also be your body size. So a lot of times when it comes to weight loss, the weight can come on for subconscious reasons. It could be because you feel safer, right? Especially as women. It could be because you're eating your emotions. You don't feel safe to express your emotions. So you're using food or alcohol or work or shopping, it doesn't matter what it is, to help to quell those emotions. So it's really diving into understanding what got you to point A. And so it's beliefs, identities, could be traumas and triggers, but understanding not just like, oh, I'm going to blame my childhood trauma. I'm going to blame this really stressful circumstance, or this person triggered me, or this situation triggered me. And I'm going to explore, why did it trigger me, right? Why do I have beliefs? What is underneath the trauma? It's not about the trauma. And just, I'm not saying, discount the trauma or deny your trauma, but understand what in that trauma created a belief, a pattern, a way of self-protection that created the behavior and the adaptation and the compensations that led to that relationship with food or alcohol or shopping or whatever it is. And then that stems right into the physiology, like our neural patterns, our well-worn pathways in our brain, in our consciousness, that are also called habits and different things like that. So it's really important when you are embarking on a new goal, a new vision, when you want to get from point A to point B, to dive deeper into all these really inner workings of your own consciousness. And that's what I do when I work with clients. I also do the outer things as well. Like, I'm a functional medicine nutritionist. I have a master's degree in nutrition. I know how to guide people into finding the healthy way to eat, right? The way that will support the average human's biochemistry. But even from that perspective, I need to know, do you like these foods? Does this fit into your schedule, and your lifestyle and your capabilities and your preferences? Those are the things that we work on as well when you select a package to work with me. I usually work in 1 or 3 month packages. I do have a special in August. So if you're on my email list, you are getting access to that code. And if you have any questions, please let me know. If this resonates, please give it a like and a comment, and I will see you in the next video.